Alrighty, I think we're live. So good evening to everyone tuned in to YouTube Live this evening. Good evening to our guests tonight. Can I get a raise of hands who's here for the first time? Welcome. We're always excited to see new people in the business. All right, so let's get underway. So tonight is not the usual intro presentation that we have. It's a slightly different format, a more exciting, a little more fun. We call it Tell All Tuesday, where we get to invite the month's best performing wealth engineers to come up onto the stage and share their story with you. So you can go away realizing that Rob hasn't been professing all the theory, but it's actually working out for a lot of the wealth engineers that join the business. Alrighty, so I'm going to go through the presentation, and throughout the presentation, I'll bring up some of our wealth engineers, and they'll tell you what their experience has been thus far. So you are all seated in DuePoint's head office here in Bryanston. We are a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company. There's the logo in the bottom right corner, that little orange logo. Constantia has been around for a very long time. They were founded in 1952, which is just after World War II, so they've been around for a very long time. You might not recognize the logo because they actually don't typically deal with consumers in the insurance market. They often underwrite other businesses. So if you've got an insurance policy, often if you look through your terms and conditions, you'll see that your insurance policy is actually underwritten by another business. And this is what Constantia specializes in. So they actually deal with a lot of other financial services businesses. This is the financial service provider license number that we work under. You'll see all our licenses are displayed for everyone to see outside above the water cooler. Constantia has got more than, I think, 3-4 licenses. I think there's only about a dozen companies in South Africa that has more financial licenses than what Constantia has. I guess they've been around long enough, they start collecting licenses after time. So we've got our short-term insurance license, long-term insurance license, we've got a financial services provider license, and then affiliation with some of the other organizations in South Africa that is on display outside for you to see. Who are the characters behind DuePoint? This is the leadership team, the managers and the executives. The 3 characters on the left are all chartered accountants, right? The brains behind the business, smiling at the back there. You can see that they're speaking amongst themselves. They've formed a little clique. They don't really speak to Jane or I because we aren't accountants. Brendan is the head executive of DuePoint, and he's got a wealth of experience in insurance as well as financial services. Him and his brother founded Prime Meridian, which is based down the road from us, that has been very successful to date. So he brings a lot of that experience with him to DuePoint. Tim, who's in the back there, doing all the live streaming for us this evening, he comes to us from the First Rand Group. He worked directly beneath the CEO of First Rand Group. We convinced him to get out of corporate banking and come join this business. Stacey, also the chartered accountant, comes to us from Deloitte. She worked overseas in Luxembourg for a few years before she came back to South Africa, and we convinced her to join DuePoint instead of joining one of the big banks. And then you've got Jane, the shortest member of the team. Brendan's actually standing on a box. Jane is, if you've spoken to her this evening, she's here with us this evening. She's got a very heavy Yorkshire accent. She comes to us from the UK. She's been here for already like 12 years, so I don't know why she still has the Yorkshire accent. She's holding on to it. She has got a wealth of experience in direct selling and direct marketing. And she really is the front of DuePoint. So if you ever come to our offices, you'll always see her at reception. Big smile and a hello from Jane. And then the tallest and best looking individual in the team is myself. I'm not standing on a box. And I come to you from the advertising marketing industry. So I started a digital agency when I was fairly young. Faked it till I made it. It was the early days when internet was still a fairly innovative aspect of our lives, and I ran that business for about 17 years before deciding to get rid of it, and also joined Brendan and the team in DuePoint. So we all have fairly diverse backgrounds, besides the boring accountants. But we were specifically brought together to make DuePoint as successful as possible with the diverse skill set that we all have. And that is most of the time in supporting our wealth engineers that join the business. All right. So you might be wondering why you've been dragged here. A lot of people are a bit nervous having been dragged here. They're not quite sure. They perhaps haven't been told the whole story, but we will go through the whole story this evening on the premise of the financial opportunity that you've probably been promised or that's been kind of communicated to you of what DuePoint is. So why was DuePoint formed? Why are you here? Well, there's two aspects to it. The one we'll speak of now, which is debt. The other one is the economy and the circumstances that we're all subject to. So I tell everyone, I typically don't watch Carte Blanche on a Sunday night. I don't like to listen to the radio in the mornings on the way to work, and I don't read the newspaper that I subscribe to on a Sunday, purely because it's filled mostly with very negative news stories, right? And we're all subject to it, regardless of who you are, whether you're the CEO of a business or whether you are unemployed. But we are all subject to the circumstance that is the SA economy. And even South Africa's economy is subject to what's happening globally. And South Africa, even as a country, as an economy, really doesn't have much weight or say in what happens to it, right? We've got all kinds of things that happen around the world that affect us. We're very much on the tail end of what happens globally. And then as South Africans, we are subject to what happens in our local economy. Sorry, I saw a flash there. So we're all subject to this. We are all in the same set of circumstances. And I tell everyone, all the wealth engineers that are with us this evening, they all know my story very well, that I'm married to a lady that works for Anglo American, and she heads up the labor litigation department for Anglo American, the biggest private employer in the country. And we see what is happening in South Africa's economy firsthand. The mining industry, as we all know, is fairly hard hit by the economy. A lot of regulation around mining. My father's involved in mining. My wife's father's involved in mining. And there are all these circumstances that are affecting one of the largest industries in South Africa. And so, fairly frequently, my wife has the task of retrenching people. And that's everyone from mine workers at Anglo American to people at head office, professionals, accountants, other engineers, other lawyers, are all subject to the same set of circumstances that we all face as South Africans in the economy. And it's very much negative. In the last 6 years, South Africa has lost 1.6 million jobs in the job market. So we are going backwards at a rate. And you might have been retrenched yourself, or you will certainly know of somebody that has been retrenched. And that's just the reality that we all face. And these are often circumstances that we have no control over. And that can usually be the most frustrating aspect about that, is that you don't have control over these circumstances. But there is one aspect of finances that we do have control over, and that is debt. So we're going to speak a little bit more about the debt that exists in our lives. And we are afforded this debt the moment we all earn a salary. Right, that first paycheck, can you remember your first paycheck? Long time ago, very small, but it was typically paid into a bank account. And the moment that happened, you entered into South Africa's fiscal system, because the bank saw that you were now earning a salary, and they would have afforded you a whole bunch of services. And those services take on the form of debt instruments, as well as investments or savings, right? So we're all familiar with the big ones, credit cards. We all need at least 5 or 6 credit cards. Very convenient having a credit card. I went overseas recently, didn't have to get Forex, didn't have to get traveler's checks, I just used a credit card. So a lot of people have got credit cards. Your first car, very exciting, buying your first car, very liberating. I bought a City Golf. I thought I was on top of the world when I got my City Golf. I could go anywhere I wanted to, didn't have to ask my mom for a lift anymore, didn't have to rely on public transport. Uber wasn't around in those days. So we all have cars that we gladly will pay off 60 months. And nowadays, the car industry is also under a lot of pressure. So now you can get cars with a 72-month loan, right? We've got a couple of people that work at different car dealerships here this evening. You can now ask the bank to only finance 60% of your car, with a promise that you'll pay the remaining 40% at the end of the term. Very bad decision, right? Home loans. Also, a lot of South Africans that are got homes, typically paying a home off. 20 years is a typical term. No one can afford to pay a house cash, right? So it's natural that you would go out and get a 20-year term on a home loan. And a portion of your salary is being saved. So the stats that we get say this average South African spends 50% of their salary on debt repayment, right? That's the average South African. And the rest of your salary is for the cost of living and for savings. But even this portion that you're saving is still subject to expenses. So you've got emergencies. You'll be saving a little bit of money left for that. Education. Because the job market is so competitive now, you might be thinking of re-educating yourself, maybe choosing a different line, maybe looking at an MBA for 200,000 Rand and a lot of stress. The price of sending your kids to a better school is getting exorbitant. My daughter's 3 years old, and her creche, which is from 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock, costs more than doing a degree at Wits. That's the reality of it today. It's just crazy. So I always joke with my wife, I said we should just send Sienna straight to Wits. Skip creche, primary school, high school, because it's cheaper. She'll have 20 years to do a BSc. I'm sure she'll get it at the end of all of that. Retirement. Hopefully a portion of that money that you're saving every month is going towards your retirement planning. Very important. Vacations. South Africans, we love to have vacations. We get a lot of leave, so my wife tells me, compared to other countries. So I think the minimum is 3 weeks leave. It's like 15 days minimum. In the States, I don't think they even have a minimum in the States. Your employer can say, well, you don't get any leave when you're with me. So we're lucky in that way, but we like to go on vacations. Those cost money. And dreams and aspirations. Remember when you were a lot younger, before you got your first paycheck, or maybe when you got your first paycheck, you had all these aspirations of where you wanted to be later in life. A lot of us even start thinking about that when we have those first guidance kind of counselors come speak to us at school, right? And that's when you start thinking about who you want to be, what you want to be, where you want to be in time. What are you going to do after school? How is that path of education going to get you to where you want to be? But then when you start getting a little older and you've got all these expenses, you've got the cost of living increasing, those dreams and aspirations start to fade away. And that's the reality of it. Because we see the statistics that we get given by the FSB, and we know that the cost of living is going up. We all know that. They say inflation is about 7%, but I think it's way more than 7%. Because if you go into the shops and you look at a packet of potatoes that are 300% more expensive today than they were a year ago, we know our grocery bills are more. When inflation goes up, the interest rate goes up, our debt becomes more expensive to maintain. And what happens then is our debt becomes more expensive, and instead of that 50% of the money left over at the end of the month, we have less. And when we have less, all these items here are now compromised. We don't have the same amount of money we had last month for these items. So these items become compromised. Dreams and aspirations go out the window first, typically. Hopefully you're not cutting back on your retirement planning. Maybe you can't send your kids to the school you want to. Maybe you don't have the option of re-educating yourself or doing an MBA or studying further, right? So these are things that are a reality for all South Africans. And what we begin to realize is that we're actually on this journey of debt. From the moment we earn that first paycheck, and we would have seen it with our parents too. So that's me. I got my first job. I bought that City Golf. My wife was very impressed with my City Golf. She got married to me. We had a little daughter, Sienna, 3 years old. So I'm over here. I'm about to hit this uphill on this journey of debt. And the statistics we get from the FSB say that the average South African only starts to save for retirement when they're in their 50s. When they're in their 50s. Why? Because they've only kicked the kids out the house at that stage. They've only paid the house off when they're at 50 years old. They've started to get rid of debt only at that stage. But at 50, it is too late. If you are 50-year-old and you decide, right, now I can really start saving for my retirement planning, you go onto one of the banking websites and you go to their retirement planning section of the website and it asks you what age you are, it asks you when you want to retire, and it says how much money do you need to get by every month. It's a very simple little app, but it is frightening because if you leave that to the age of 50, it's going to tell you you're not going to be able to save. You could put your whole salary away. You won't have enough money in the next 15 years to support yourself against the living standards that you're used to, right? So you guys should do that. If you've never done that, you should go check out the banking app, as frightening as it can be, but it's a reality check for a lot of us. So that's very much the negative part of the presentation. I hope I've scared everyone enough. So why was DuePoint formed? We saw this need in South Africa, the need to empower individuals beyond what their employees were able to offer them. So DuePoint was formed, and we came up with something we call the DuePoint system, which has 3 goals. The first goal is to allow wealth engineers to get rid of all the debt that exists in their lives, to be debt-free, right? Not when you've kicked the kids out of the house and you've paid off the car and you've paid off the house. Now, from now, to become debt-free. The second goal is to allow wealth engineers to start creating value in an asset that belongs to you. Not in an asset with an underlying debt instrument, which is a house. When you have a loan on a house, that's an asset with an underlying debt instrument, right? That's not creating value in your life. So our second goal is to create real value in an asset that our wealth engineers own. And when those 2 things come together and are realized, then we reach our third goal. And that is to allow wealth engineers to start dreaming and connecting to those dreams and aspirations that they once had. Because your life will change. If you get rid of all the debt in your life and you're creating value in an asset that you own, at the end of the month, instead of having stress, you are now liberated and your mindset changes. So we have our first wealth engineer with us this evening. Ruth, come stand up here with me. There you go. Ruth, welcome.
Thank you.
And congratulations. You have been performing like a star. There are your numbers, your graph on the left there. You'll see that Ruth has doubled her income every single month. Every single month, Ruth.
Yes.
Yeah, give her a round. I was doing a little calculation today. One of the accountants showed me how to use Excel. And do you know if you keep doubling your income every month, within a year,
Yes.
within 12 months, you'll be earning R500,000 a month.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do, Rob.
Good.
Yes.
Good. We tell all our wealth engineers, aim high.
Yeah.
So tell us, Ruth, you joined on the 7th of April. Why did you join DuePoint? What convinced you to join this business?
You know what, Rob? At the moment, I'm working as a counselor at Ekurhuleni. I'm earning a salary, but my salary, the debts, is more than what I'm earning. So I was really tired of being tired for being in debts.
Yeah.
So I wanted something. I wanted an extra income, a sustainable income that will make me at least live a lifestyle that I want to live. So it was one day when Pumi and Patrick invited me to this business. So now, when Pumi invited me to this business, I said, oh, there she's starting again. I don't want this kind of a business. She said, she's calling me Mama. She said, Mama, please come to a presentation and sit down, listen to the presenter. I said, okay, let me go. Then I sat there, listened to the presenter. Brendan was presenting. While Brendan was busy presenting, I said, yeah, this is the kind of business I want. Already, while Brendan was presenting, already I could see whom, when I go out of here, whom I'm going to invite to this business.
That's awesome. I need to congratulate Brendan and Pumi for a job well done. So you connected with the vision immediately. I mean, before the presentation was even over, you were already planning what you wanted to do in the business,
Yes.
who you were going to invite to come see the business.
Yes.
And what has the experience been so far? You've been in since April, doubling your business every
Yeah,
month. You've
yeah.
got your people here that you've already introduced to the business.
You know, first month, Rob, when I get that 275, I was so excited when my phone indicates that there is money. When I check, I saw 275 from DuePoint. I was so excited and say, Pumi, I have something. I was really excited and say, Pumi, I have money for petrol. Pumi said, oh, thanks, ma'am. Then I said, Pumi, as from now, I'm going to run. And really, Rob, as from now, I'm going to run. I have set a target for myself. As you can see, my team is here already. I brought my team and they're also running. I'm sure you have seen my genealogy. How is it growing? So I have set a target. I'm going to do this. I'm happy about DuePoint.
That's awesome, Ruth. Congratulations. You're doing extremely well. Thank you so much, Mama.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks.
So guys, I hope a lot of you are already starting to have the cogs working, turning, thinking, who am I going to invite into the business? It's still early in the presentation, so if you're not there yet, you've still got a little bit of time. So these are the benefits of the DuePoint system. What is the DuePoint system? Basically, what the DuePoint system is it allows you guys to join DuePoint, contract with us. We call you wealth engineers when you contract with us, and you have one task, is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And when you build those channels of distribution, and we are able to place products into those people that you introduce to us, that is how the DuePoint system works. And you get the following benefits. The first one is additional income. One of the most important aspects of this is to be able to create that additional recurring income stream for yourself. Remember, one of the goals was to get rid of debt in your lives. So we don't want you to go out and quit your jobs. We want you to create the second income. We want you to pay that debt off as quickly as possible so that you're able to become debt-free. The nature of our business, because we're in financial services, allows us to create this recurring income stream. So the effort that you put in today will pay you on a recurring basis going forward, because we, as the company, Constantia, will be doing the debiting on all that business that we place into your channel. So it's one of the most important aspects, is being able to create recurring income stream for you. And that is one of the main reasons I got out of my business. I ran an agency. We sold hours, like lawyers. We're designers, developers. We could only sell the amount of hours that each of my employees had in the month. And I was limited to that. And at the end of the month, I had to start at zero again. Terrible business model, right? Recurring income stream is very important. The power of duplication. So those channels of distribution that I speak of, that you guys are going to go out and build, those are teams of individuals that you're building that collaborate with you. So when you have recurring income and you have a whole team trying to achieve the same goals, it's the perfect business model. That is how anyone builds a fortune. The CEO of Anglo gets the paycheck that he gets on the backs of his employees. We all have the same amount of hours in the week. So if you're able to leverage a team of individuals to help you earn more, that's really the business that you want to get involved in. It is completely flexible. You're not accountable to us. You are accountable to yourselves. So you can decide how much time that you can commit to the business. So it's up to you. No startup capital. This is a risk-free endeavor. We are not going to ask you for 10,000 Rand up front before you can get involved in a business like this. If you look at any other business opportunity, there is always a fairly large amount of financial risk attached to starting any business, right? You don't have that here. The worst would be listening to me for the hour today and some of the wealth engineers and you can cancel your product before the end of the month, you would have lost nothing. And there's no qualifications or experience required. We are a financial services business. We are heavily regulated. When I joined this business, Brendan dropped a bombshell on me and told me I had to go do FSB regulatory exams, which I was not very happy about. Right? I'm a designer. I like making things pretty. I don't like doing FSB exams. You guys don't have to do any of that. It is extremely hard to get involved in financial services today because of all the regulation. And there's more regulation coming out later this year, to the detriment of a lot of brokers that are earning commission. You guys don't have to fall into any of that regulatory stuff. So you can get involved in financial services through DuePoint. The most important aspect of this business is that you get to build an asset that you guys own. And your DuePoint channel is treated as a legal asset, which means you can move it into a family trust, you can seed it to your children or your spouse if something had to happen to you. You could sell it, right? So it's business that you own. You have ownership over it. No selling required, much to the relief of a lot of people in the room. No selling involved at all, guys. And the nature of our business, because it's financial services, you don't have to phone Jane and tell her that you're coming to pick up 40 kilograms of toothpaste. Go rent a bucky and then go out and try sell toothpaste to all your family and friends, right? We do all the collecting for you. The debit orders, we manage all of that. So we make the business as convenient as possible for our wealth engineers. So what are these channels of distribution that I speak of? They all begin with you. So that's you in the middle there, waving back at yourself. You go out and you tell people about DuePoint, about the business opportunity. And when you're able to successfully extend that vision, that is the beginning of your DuePoint channel. So if we're able to place products with those people you introduce us to, those are those 5 little dots there. Those are people that you've personally introduced to DuePoint. And they go out and they do the same thing. Can you see how the power of duplication starts to take effect? How much effort did it take for you to introduce those first 5 people? But look at the potential of it. If you're able to effectively extend that vision and your friends go out and do the same thing, your channel will grow and grow and grow. And I joke, I say, you can have Jacob Zuma sitting in your channel. You wouldn't even know about it. And you'd be earning money out of him. Imagine all the contacts he has. Right? That's the potential of this. Recurring income and the power of duplication. And so we throw in a disclaimer slide. Because as convenient as we make this business, as easy as it is to get in, no regulation, no startup costs, people often don't give the business the weight that it deserves. They see it as a hobby, something they might just try out, right? If it's so easy to get in, it can't be that great. So just like the ballet dancer, beautiful photo of the ballet dancer with the ballerina pump on the left foot, and the realness, the exposed right foot. To become a professional dancer, I don't know, 10,000 hours, they say, at least, of dancing. But the ballerina, from a very early age, had aspirations of becoming a professional dancer. So she went through all the frustration. She had this long-term vision of where she wanted to be, who she wanted to become. She didn't give up when she got her first blister or broken toe or lost a nail, all the terrible things that happen to ballerinas' feet. And that's what you guys need to do. If you're looking at this as a serious business opportunity, you need to look at it as such. Do not have short-term expectations on this business, because then you'll be one of the majority that just stop doing anything within the first 3 months. If you have a long-term vision, if you have dreams and aspirations, if you can connect to those, the way you think, your mindset will change. Because there's a learning curve to this business. So there is frustration, and you only learn out of frustration when it is hard, not when it is easy. So I don't want you to give up in the first 3 months. I want you to have a goal a year down the line. Like Ruth. R500,000 a month after 12 months. Have those aspirations, and you won't give up at the first sign of frustration. So let's talk about the money. We pay our wealth engineers a base fee of R27.50 for every product we're successfully able to place within your channel. So there's the first five individuals that you introduce to the business. We placed a channel with them because they lie on your first point. Your first point is the people that you introduce to the business personally, right? So there's point one. The R27.50 is subject to a 200% multiplier. So we don't pay you R27.50, we pay you R55 for every product on your first point, every single month going forward. And when your friends go out and they bring people to the business and we're able to place a product with those individuals, these people lie on your second point in your channel. And again, that's subject to a 200% multiplier. So again, we pay you R55. So now you're earning R55 out of all these individuals in your channel every single month going forward. To your third point, your fourth point, fifth point, all the way down to your eighth point. At your eighth point, the multiplier drops to 4%. But we don't limit you there. So as I joked with Jacob sitting on your 100th point, you can build your business to the 100th point. We will keep paying you that 4% of the R27.50 in theory to infinity. You can build your business as large as you want it to be. We don't limit you on how big your channel is, and we don't limit you on how much you can earn with DuePoint. So those are the mechanics of how the returns work. What we did with those very exciting accountants on slide 3 was we got them to come up with a growth model. So they excitedly went away and opened Excel, and what they did was they came up with a actually very complicated growth model that shows you guys how much money you could be earning after a certain amount of time. The growth model is based on what we call a 3+2 formula. The 3 assumes you're able to add 3 people into the business in your first month. The 2 represents the 2 people that you need to add into the business every consecutive month, right? So it's 3 this month, and then just 2 the next month, 2 the following month. So based on that growth formula, after 6 months, you could be earning R2,500. Now, R2,500 is not that much money. At least I didn't think so. I mean, we were charging about R1,000 an hour for our developers in my business. But it's a bit short-sighted if you turn your nose up at R2,500, because you need to realize what R2,500 in addition to your income can do for you. If you took R2,500 and you put it into an existing R1 million bond, right? Remember, you signed the 20-year term at the bank for the R1 million house to pay it off after 20 years. Instead of spending that R2,500 you're getting from DuePoint somewhere else, you put it into your bond. It'll reduce the term from 20 years to 11.5 years. That R2,500 will save you R1 million on a R1 million bond. R2,500 will save you R1 million. I didn't believe the accountants when they told me that. I had to check for myself. But the problem is most of the people give up before even month 6 because they're only earning R1,000, R2,000 after 3 or 4 months, right? The frustration got the better of them. They were the ballerina that gave up on their hopes and dreams right at the beginning. If you push through to 12 months, you could be earning nearly R10,000 a month. And if you keep going, after 24 months, you could be earning nearly R30,000 a month. Now, I don't care who you are, R30,000 a month is a lot. You can go out and buy a 911 Porsche for R30,000 a month, but that would be a really bad decision. Or so my wife tells me. And if you keep going, you could be earning nearly R50,000 a month after 3 years. And if you want to compare it to putting money into a bond again, after 30 months, if you're probably earning about R36,000 a month, you put that into an existing R5 million bond, it's going to drop the term to less than 7 years. Less than 7 years, you'll pay off a house to the value of R5 million, done. The bank no longer owns it. So I'm 39 this year, as everyone knows. Do you believe that? That means I've got 21 years left until early retirement, right? 60 is early retirement. That's when people in the 70s and 80s retired. I think retirement age is now about 70, 75. But let's say I retire at the age of 60. I've got 21 years. I can pay off 3 houses to the value of 5 million rand in the next 21 years. So when I'm ready to retire, I can tell Brendan I've had enough. I'll have 3 houses in my name that I could be renting out, say for 25,000 rand each. I'm earning what DuePoint's paying me as a passive income. Leave my employer, I could be earning in excess of 100,000 rand a month in passive income. Way better than the journey of debt where I suddenly panic at the age of 50 and start saving for my retirement. Start planning your retirement now. So you push through because you'd be very excited being able to earn 50,000 rand a month. At 48 months, you're probably on about 70,000 rand a month. Remember, this is 3 plus 2. You're putting in 2 people every month, and you're duplicating that into your channel. After 60 months, you could be earning in excess of 1 million rand a year. Who is getting 1 million rand bonus from the employers at the end of the year? Huh? We're lucky if we get a 1% raise at the end of the year, right? Because the economy is doing badly. So the employee can say, oh, no raises this year. Certainly no bonuses. The 60-month period is the same as what I paid my city golf off over. 60 months is not a long time. But that's the kind of vision that we need to commit to. Is 60 months a long time to commit? I don't think so. I think it's around the corner. It is around the corner, especially when you get older. Time seems to start fleeting a lot faster than I was used to. So it's a bit frightening. And on that point, Annelies, come join me. Welcome. There you go. So Annelies, you joined us in February, but you only started working in April.
Yes.
Tell me your story about joining this business, being convinced to join, what was going through your mind, and where were you the first 3 months?
Wow, quite a lot of things. My friend phoned me and said I must have a look at the DuePoint system. And when I opened the website, wow, did you see that, Hank? Wow.
The good-looking guy on the homepage.
Yes, he's too much for me. And then I immediately joined. I didn't even know what is going on in DuePoint, but I started.
That's Brendan without his glasses on.
No, this guy.
Okay, well, he did his job then.
Yes, he did.
I'm glad. Okay, and then the next 3 months?
Oh, there was quite a lot of obstacles and hurdles on my road. But when I started off, wow, there's no stopping me.
Yeah, and you are exceeding 3 plus 2. So have you been able to connect with that vision of potentially being able to earn 1 million rand a year?
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
You need to make that a goal that you're going to achieve.
Yeah, for sure.
With all the support you're receiving at
Yes.
DuePoint. What has your experience been so far?
Wow, this is the best channel for me. Thank you so much for everyone in my channel. I'm so blessed to connect to you. Thank you for being here tonight as well.
Okay, so you got some of your team here this
Yes,
evening.
yeah.
And for the people that are here for the first time, the guests, what do you think they need to hear
Okay.
to convince them?
I must tell you something. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. You've got greatness in you. Yes, this is the best business ever. You can start off.
Great. Is that all?
And then I want to I want to celebrate Brendan, his team, and all the staff members. Thank you for being here every night and cheering us on and helping us to succeed in this business. And then I must say thank you to Donnie. Wow, he always helping me. And when I'm down, he said, "No, Annelies, you can run with this." Thank you, Donnie. And wow, I must say thank you to God as well, because with our team, I will not be able to be standing here tonight and doing this business.
Awesome. Thanks, Annelie. And as I said, Annelies is exceeding 3 plus 2. So it would be very easy at this stage to maybe give up hope. Maybe 2,000 Rand a month is not enough for some of us. But this business increases exponentially. Ruth was able to double her earnings every single month, right? What business has a forecast where you double your business every month? So that was the returns that we spoke about. It's not the only way to earn with DuePoint. We have another program that we call the XP Rewards program, and this is an opportunity for our wealth engineers to get more out of the DuePoint system than just the returns. So all these little items floating past here are what we call wealth quests, and this is basically, it's almost like a study guide. It allows our wealth engineers who join for the first time, who don't know what they're doing, to get into this program, to understand all these quests that exist, and it takes you from being a beginner wealth engineer to becoming an experienced wealth engineer. And along the way, we reward you. So when your channel grows and you're doing all these little tasks that give you XP points, we reward our wealth engineers with holidays. Not only for the wealth engineer, the entire family, right? We give away cars without DuePoint stickers on them. We give away tools that help you build your channel more effectively. So here is the entire XP Rewards table. I'm going to open it up for you. There are 2 criteria that you need to meet to get the reward. So the first criteria is those points, right? You get the points when you do all these tasks. And they're simple. They start out with logging into the website. You get 25 XP points. When you come to a presentation like this, you get points. And when you start gaining points and your channel size starts to grow, we reward you. So the first one starts out fairly small, 55 Rand. You can go buy a Nando's half chicken, maybe a quarter chicken, right? Reward yourself. But they get bigger and better. So the tools that I spoke of, that starts at rank 5. At rank 5, we give our wealth engineers a lightning memory stick. More importantly, what we put on the memory stick is all our training collateral. All the videos that we've ever done get put onto that memory stick. You can plug it into your cell phone, you can plug it into a laptop, into a tablet, right? It's a tool that makes building your channel easier, more convenient, and more effective. Rank 7, 12,000 Rand business cards. Who on earth would spend 12,000 Rand on a set of business cards? We do, for our wealth engineers. We call them the Rolls-Royce of business cards. Have you ever been to a party where someone arrives in a Rolls-Royce? I haven't. But if someone does arrive in a Rolls-Royce, I can promise you now, everyone will take note. Everyone will ask, who's the guy in the Rolls-Royce or the girl in the Rolls-Royce? What do they do? It's the same with business cards that have been dipped in gold. These 12,000 Rand business cards are the Rolls-Royce of business cards. When you place one of these in someone's hand, they will ask you, who is DuePoint? What do you do for them? And they'll be sitting next to you at the next business presentation, right? Tools to make your business, your channel building easier, faster, and better. The exciting one, rank 9, is an annual family holiday. Like I said, not only for the wealth engineer. This is a reward that is not a once-off. You see all these rewards here? They are all once-off rewards. When you get to the rank, we give you the reward. That's it. But when you get to rank 9, that is a reward that we give you every single year. Every single year, we will take you to a 5-star destination, business class flights for you and your family. You don't have to have a family meeting to discuss the budget, how much money is in your bank account. That's what we do before holidays at home. The only thing you need to do is make sure that you have that week's leave. So be sure to tell your HR manager that you're flying business class again. Right? And that DuePoint's paying for it. And then you put the Rolls-Royce business card on the desk. And your HR manager will be sitting next to you at the next business presentation. The car at rank 11. It is the best car you can get. Do you know what type of car it is? It's a paid-off car. It's a novel idea, isn't it? A paid-off car. I always thought you had to buy a new car when you paid the last one off. Suppose you don't have to. And these rewards only get bigger and better. Bigger and better. So you can only imagine what happens from rank 12 onwards. And this is in addition to the returns that you're earning every month. So at this stage, we normally have a couple of people, the more astute individuals, come to Brendan and say, I think your maths is wrong. I don't know if DuePoint's going to be around. So we explain the business model in a little more depth. So traditional business model, especially in finances, and most especially in insurance. We all understand that to get product to market, we have to market. We have to advertise the products to get people to understand what products and services we sell. That's a traditional business model. You go outside, you're exposed to thousands of adverts a day. Thousands. You will not see a DuePoint logo outside this building. Perhaps on YouTube, and that's it, right? Because we don't do any advertising or marketing. We rely on our wealth engineers to speak to people. We rely on that word of mouth to get our products to the market. So instead of spending the R1 billion that insurance companies spent last year on marketing and advertising, we pay that to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. We very easily could have adopted this business model. Constantia has been doing it for the last 70 years. But we didn't do that. The individuals I introduced you to are passionate about changing people's lives. We don't want to run a call center and pay advertising agencies and marketing specialists. DuePoint actually gives our wealth engineers, you almost become partners in profit share in this business. And that is how the business model works here. And on that note, Ray and Di, come join me on stage. Get in close. Ray, you can begin. Welcome, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's the second time Ray and Di's been up on the stage, so they've been working hard. Ray, you joined right at the beginning.
Yep, in Feb, yeah.
And I was joking with you a little earlier. I said it must have been a leap of faith joining us because you really didn't know, other than what we were promising on stage, what DuePoint was going to be all about. What has your experience been of it so far?
Well, from the beginning, if you're going to look at a marketing, a business like us, a network marketing, MLM, you got to look at what the product is. And immediately, when the financial products came up, I realized they're absolutely wonderful. And it's not just here. It's not just me saying that. That's what it's got to be. Network marketing has evolved, hasn't it? It's no longer selling a product. It is creating this channel and allowing you guys to drop the product in. We know the saying. That's how it goes. We will bring people, we will channel people, and you guys can drop the product in there. To me, it's network marketing today is of such an advanced state that you guys have spotted it, come up with this concept, and that's where we are today. And I must tell you that I read a book, and I think that's where you get the information of about 10,000 hours. But if you do 1,000 hours a year at whatever you're wanting to get to in life, whether you be a hockey player, a rugby player, a ballerina, or you play the violin, 1,000 hours a year for 10 years gets you there. Guys, this is a 5-year program to get you there. And if you do 3 + 6, it's 30 months. It's half the time. So it really is important for you to understand that we don't even have to work 5 years to be able to understand the business. Within your first 90 days, you're understanding the business. You've got all the information at your fingertips. Everything is in your website and on your dashboard. So to me, the way that this has evolved, the neatness, the clarity that we've got in this business is phenomenal. And you know, you don't have to stand up here and say that in front of the camera. You've got to realize what you're in and say, wow, we found the right vehicle.
Well, your commitment certainly shown that. I mean, Diana, you drive quite the distance to get here, and you were a little nervous of getting involved at the beginning. You've been quite hands-off on these type of businesses that Ray's been fairly excited about. What's your experience been? And why? Why commit so much to it?
Well, that is certainly the truth, in that I am certainly not a natural networker, like my darling husband, who is a maniac. This is seriously me out of my comfort zone, and it is not where I would choose to be by choice. But when we looked at this business, I looked at it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to face this fear and put it behind me, because I could see that it gave us options that our current jobs, professions, won't give us. We've had a comfortable lifestyle, very comfortable, but it didn't give us maybe options to do things differently or other things like travel and things that one does dream about. So I loved the concept here. I love the professionalism, the support, just the sophistication, I think, of the system, the cleanliness of the system, and the products that are on offer make such good sense. And so we are doing this together, and I'm really enjoying that, I think, the most of all.
Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference when you have a husband and wife, team up, have the same aspirations. The kids, you've kicked them out the house,
We
right?
kicked them
So
out.
you can do what you want now.
Yeah.
So congratulations, guys. You've been growing wonderfully, exceeding 3+2. So very excited to see where you're going to be in 60 months' time.
So are we.
Great. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So Ray touched on the products. So you're probably thinking, well, what are the products? Here are the products. We specifically designed 3 products with those initial goals in mind: to create value, to get rid of your debt, to help you save. You can take all 3 products. They complement one another. You can take 1 or 2 products. It's completely up to you. The first product is an investment product. It costs you 274 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment account. So you have full access to that investment account. 72 hours notice to withdraw the funds, fully accessible. It's not a notice deposit account. And on top of that, we give you 100,000 Rand personal accident cover. So if you're an Access Wealth product owner and something happens to you, lots of things happen in South Africa, we will put 100,000 Rand into that personal accident account for your beneficiaries, right? So that's the first product. It's an investment product, Access Wealth. The second product is the insurance product. It is here to protect your wealth, okay? 249 Rand a month, but this time you get R1 million worth of personal accident cover. So if you take it in combination with the Access Wealth, you'll have 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of this product is that it is accessible to everybody. Everybody over the age of 18, regardless of your health status, regardless of your age, you can get R1 million worth of personal accident cover. The premium will not go up depending on what your health status is. We're not going to send a nurse around to your office to take blood and urine, to ask you a whole host of questions about which uncle in your family had cancer and which one didn't, right? So the beauty of this product is it's accessible to everyone. The third product tackles the issue of debt and investment from a completely different angle. We know that we spend money every single month, right? We all spend money, regardless of what it's on. This product allows you to save money on that spend. So it costs 249 Rand a month too, of which 100 Rand gets converted into wealth points that you retain, right? That's money that you can spend with a host of suppliers that we have in this program. So if you're a wealth points product owner, you can go out and spend with these individuals over here. So we've got quite a few retail partners, Yuppie Chef, Hirsch's, ShopRite, Checkers, and Take-A-Lot. We have negotiated discounts that typically you as individuals could never get with companies like this. So for example, we would go out to Checkers and we would buy R1 million worth of vouchers from them. They will then afford us discounts, which we share with our wealth engineers who are on the Wealth Points program. So if you're looking for a product that gives you immediate value, this is the product to have. Very exciting product. One of the most exciting partners is the Entertainer. The Entertainer gives you 1.2 million Rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers. So when we first looked at this, and Jane mentioned to me it was a buy one, get one free thing, I thought, geez, sounds a bit tacky. And then they dropped off the voucher books, which are in the display cabinet outside. I mean, they're that size. It's 100,000 Rands worth of vouchers every single month. We will renew that voucher book for you every single year. So Jane likes to go across the road to Juniper's, fancy restaurant here in Bryanston, 160 Rand for a steak. She gets the second steak for free. She's paid what the premium is costing her in one lunch sitting. And there are over R1 million worth of vouchers to all the restaurants around South Africa, hotels around the world. these beauty spas around the country, golf courses, live events. And it comes in the form of a mobile app, not the book that you see in the cabinet. So it's very easy and accessible. So that is the Wealth Points product. So I need to remind you guys, and a couple of our wealth engineers have touched on it this evening, that there is a massive support system behind our wealth engineers. From the people I introduced you to on slide 3, to the facilities that you're sitting in. Everything in this business is geared to make our wealth engineers, you guys, as successful as possible in this business. Our client service ladies have got a wealth of experience in this type of business, here to support wealth engineers. The facilities, we have wealth engineers coming in all the time, daily, having business meetings here. They have the facilities to use. This auditorium, we can open up the acoustic doors behind you. It can seat 120 people in here. We live stream a lot of the events out on YouTube Live. So when we're all on holiday overseas next year, we can still tune into the training that someone will be doing back at the office, right? So you have awesome support, unparalleled support. You will not get a business opportunity that has the support system that DuePoint offers. You won't. And so I'll ask Lynette to come stand with me. Lynette, come up onto stage. Let me turn this on for you. There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've had a sterling couple of, or few months, and Lynette has been one of the most determined individuals at DuePoint. When we first met her in February, she said, if it kills me, I will make a success out of this business. So you're doing fairly well. What has your experience been of the business so far?
I'm amazed. It exceeded all my expectations. You know, I can't believe that the amount of money I received. You know, I've worked very hard in a previous network, and I never received what I'm currently receiving. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
And it's still early days.
Yes, it is.
What are your aspirations? Where do you want to get to? I mean, it's only, you joined in February, it's only July.
You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm working towards 100,000 a month. That's my goal.
Okay. And I'm sure you're not going to stop there.
No, never.
And your time frame for doing that? You're exceeding 3 + 2, so I would assume that you would get there.
Well, I expect to have it in 3 years.
Mm. And what would you tell our guests this evening that are perhaps on the fence as to whether DuePoint is worthwhile getting involved with or not?
Well, I would like to use the acronym of a university. Now, my son went to the university. When after 3 months, he didn't receive his degree. He studied very hard for 4 years. Then he came out, he did receive his degree, and then he came out, and he worked another 5 to 10 years before he actually got a decent salary. Now, if you compare DuePoint to the University of Network Marketing, it's exactly the same. Don't expect it within 3 months to earn your degree. It's not possible. But the nice thing is that you get paid from the first month. My product was paid within 30 days. And everything I get out of this business is for free. I've got a business opportunity. I've got 100,000 accidental death cover. I've got wealth points. And I can do whatever I want to do with this business because it's my business. If you look at the university, you've got the class fees, you have to attend that. The University of Networking, here you've got your list where you can go through your XP program. It's got everything on it. First, it tells you exactly what to do. If you log into every day, you get 25 XP points. The next one is bring a guest. If you just bring your guest to the presentation, you get XP points. They are training you to do your business. Then, people who don't succeed, just ask them, how many guests have you invited to a presentation? Or how many times have you logged into the internet or on your website? Or things like that. They don't do it, but how on earth do you expect to get success if you don't take the simple little steps that are set out? I've been very, very surprised or happy with all the effort that's put into this business. I love it, and I will do it for the rest of my life.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's great. And I love the example that Lynette uses of her son that's gone to university. And I think about, colleagues of my wife who are professionals who have left school and done typically fairly well at school to be accepted into, law degrees and engineering degrees as such at varsity, spending 4 or 5 years at least at university, then joining one of the biggest, oldest companies in the world, only to be retrenched. And that's the reality that we all face as South Africans. So I asked Lynette, has your son joined DuePoint? She said yes, so she passed that test too. So thank you, Lynette. We're very excited to see where you're going to be after the next few years. Guys, and then we hit you with a very bright slide because you're now forced to make a decision. And I say forced because I've imparted a lot of information with you this evening, and you can decide to leave the building and do nothing. And that itself is a decision that you've made, right? And we've gone over the benefits of the business. Our wealth engineers have come up and spoken to you about the benefits that they enjoy in the business. So you have to reflect on that. So if you're sitting here this evening and you're tired of being subject to the circumstances that we all face within this economy, if you realize that your employment is not going to get you to where you need to be, if that is failing you, you need to make a decision this evening. And don't tell me you're going to go home and think about it. Because I've been doing this for long enough to know when people tell me they're going home to think about it and you phone them in a week's time, they haven't thought about it, right? Come speak to us. There are a lot of wealth engineers here this evening, experienced wealth engineers. We've got our entire team of staff here this evening. We will answer any questions that you have. Make a decision this evening. Make the decision to start taking control of your own finances and really connect with the aspiration of becoming completely debt-free. And I mean, we speak about becoming financially free, and I think it's a phrase that gets overused perhaps, but that's the truth of it. I think we sometimes so disconnected from that reality or that aspiration that we don't see it as a possibility. But we want our wealth engineers to become completely debt-free, to start creating value and investment that you own. Starting a business in this country is extremely risky. When I started my own business, I remember going over the stats. They reckoned only 10% of businesses survived within the first year. 10%. And then only 10% of that 10% survived the next 3 years. Frightening statistics. How many businesses are opening and closing on a monthly basis? How much money have they put into those businesses? This is a risk-free endeavor. So really, it's not about weighing up the benefits. I know the benefits exceed any business opportunity that exists in this country. Really, it becomes a decision that you need to make. I don't stand to benefit that much out of you joining this evening. The person that brought you here this evening, they're going to make 55 Rand if you join. The person that is going to get the most out of this business opportunity is you. So stop worrying about people trying to push you into the business and feeling pressure from all these different points of view. Make the decision for yourself, because that's the person that is going to be most impacted by this business opportunity, is you. And I want you to be standing on the stage next month. And hopefully within a year, you will get to rank 9 and be given an annual holiday every single year going forward. That's what we want to see happening for everyday South Africans. So thank you, guys. Come speak to us afterwards if you have any questions. I think I'm going to be touching on a few other aspects this evening. We make joining very easy. We've got free Wi-Fi in the building. We've got iPads floating all over the place. If you've got a smartphone, you can jump onto our website, click on the big blue apply button, and you can become a DuePoint wealth engineer within 7 or 8 minutes. And like Ruth, you'll have that list already in your head of people that you can speak to. right? You can start building value in this asset from tonight. No other business opportunity can offer you that. So here's another Wealth Points program member that we've added. This is Love Hair, the hairdresser across the road. So you can get your hair done before you come to intro presentations in future. They do nails, they do all kinds of things, waxes for the men. So we are adding Wealth Points program members to that Wealth Points product every single month, right? So that list of suppliers is growing all the time. We launched our mobile app a few weeks ago. So I hope all of you have got the mobile app downloaded. It automatically logs the 25 XP every time you log into the app. And we've linked all the training videos through the app to give you the 250 XP automatically when you look at the training videos. So download that for yourselves. Our Wealth Quest, for the new guys here this evening, the Wealth Quest is something that we do every single month. It gives all the new people the same opportunity the experienced wealth engineers have. And we set up a different challenge every month. So this month was add 2 new wealth engineers to your first point and achieve 100% BPQ, which means make sure everyone pays their product. And this month we're giving away a large flat screen TV. So we've had wealth engineers. Ray got an iPad last month. Glenn got an iPad last month. We've got a couple of wealth engineers that got rewarded with iPhones the month before that. So this is something we do every single month going forward. We've launched our Wednesday movie night. So if you don't like the pressure of having me or Brendan on the stage trying to push you into joining this business, come to Movie Night Wednesday, where you'll watch a presentation like we're having tonight on the screen, no pressure. So that's been launched. Free popcorn and cool drink, if that will get you here. And then we do our development seminars. So this was a development seminar we did last week. The next one is 3+2, plugging into the system. We have our training seminars every second weekend. So check the website under events for all the development seminars. If you're a wealth engineer, you need to be doing that all the time. Training, personal development is key to changing your life. And that's it, guys. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you outside.